All right, dog. Well, I don't know what the fuck that second part was, but all right. What do you think?
Um, yeah, pretty interesting.
Most interesting?
Mix are fake.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know for sure. That lecture at the end was like really red pilled.
Oh yeah, totally. Um, it's amazing that so and it left the glass and stuff, but like we feel fine. Every team heads afterward, and while there are some pick people that I've seen that are like affected by radiation, that could have been by a lot of different things, not necessarily that. And it was just weapons, and they're like, look at the cloud that they say that, and we have a two like there. It's not explained like it's in the air. Like there's no air stored, and like it was 2 miles away, and they used all these different mirrors. There's none of that. They just say it was in a bunker, and it's like, okay, where's the bunker? And they're like, oh, Doug, why are you asking so many fucking questions? And it's a good question. Like we have cameras that can survive nuclear weapons blasts. Um, I mean, I I know what I go through with cameras, and it's not the same because my cameras rely on the internet. But I know even the cameras that I have, GoPros and stuff, they have so many different crashes and issues that occur that it's like 70 years later, and like the equipment's better, and um, on top of that, okay, the camera blows up or whatever. Look, camera doesn't. It's shooting downwardly on that house, so at least that is.
The photo that they have of like the supposed bunker in the museum, it looks like kind of like a maple type of thing, like it was in the ground. But there's certainly no 30. I don't know, there's a 30 foot tall camera bunker there.
Exactly, and if there were, it better be pretty strong because you bunker better like really big and strong and full of concrete. It would be like a small pyramid or something, but there's no evidence. They don't. It's not. And then why don't they show it? Why wouldn't they be like? I mean, here's a good question. Why didn't they do a like before and after tour of that house? That car. Like, okay, version of it to scare the living shit out of everyone in 1940s, 1950s America. And fuck, another interesting thing they did. Well, no. Okay, what did he? Staff sergeant, lieutenant, corporal, and be like, okay, well, he was like cleaning latrines when they were doing this, like that. And not to disparage that, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like just because your grandfather and they're on the case does not mean that they were like, hey, let's tell this guy. And that type of logic breaks down. Like, oh, I would know because someone with whom I have a relation was there, and it's like not necessarily. Another interesting thing when they were talking about doing the bombs on like, like at a stack bunch blast, and then they would just blow it up, and then everybody would be like, "Wow!" Another interesting mushroom cloud weather and questions that I always had of like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Way something up. There's a shock there. So the next, and the same was true. Same has been argued the Cold War with the Soviet Union, and the same has been argued with North Korea, and then on why, and then it creates a secrecy state where if you're in the government, it creates like different classifications and stuff, and not everybody can talk about it. And then as well, it just allows for like unlimited budgets. It's like, oh well, we're in a race against the boogeyman, and we need to defend ourselves against it. So I'm glad we watched it. It wasn't like a perfectly edited, or it's not a professional documentary, but that's okay. Some of the coolest shit is just somebody who was just like sitting in front of a computer, just just putting stuff together, and they just make good points, and there were good points in this. Do I think nuclear energy is absolute, but not in the same way that it's traditionally thought. Like, like I still suppose, but at least for Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Yeah. If there that would be a witness would be too dead, but like report it, maybe
And how do you know the
I don't know.
difference? How do you know the difference? They're they bombed so much, so much TNT that how are you gonna
Nuclear explosion and
nuclear weapon that might?
I guess yeah.
I mean, I don't know what happened. It was just an alternative take, and but do I think nuclear energy is a thing? Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be interesting though if there are like more like witnesses from Japan in those areas that would perhaps inform us one way or another.
Yeah, that's a good question. The only thing that I really saw were those Jesuit guys, and what they said like made a lot of sense. They were like, and they were interviewed after it happened. Like, let me just say this: if I drop the biggest nuclear weapon that's ever been dropped, uh, up to that point on or like on anybody of a population 4 miles away from you, you're gonna think you're dead. Like I would think that like everything within like 50 miles would be dead. Not that it just broke the glass and then like they're that they didn't have any radiation. Like uh, makes the same reaction. another thing that was interesting were pictures, how the overlays where it would be like it, and then the cloud. He just showed. I've heard another thing that you get a a bad but for if it was a larger amount of TNT.
Like the guy at the Island.
It's in New York City or near, near New York City.
Yeah. I mean, that like explosion or whatever. Like, you get in like a doctor's office or like if you're a cancer patient getting radiation.
Point. Yeah. An X-ray. They had there's this story. Joe Rogan always talks about it, but and generally with women, the nurses who were the first people to start the use of X-rays, they all got this weird kind of cancer in their hand. And normally people don't get cancer in their hand. It's like extremely rare. But they all got it. Every morning when they would turn on, put their hand in front of it, test it to make sure it was working without any lesion. And over time, they ended up essential. Yeah, for people who have lead shields, like there were. Oh, really for people who do it all the time. That's why when